What's going on, everybody? Welcome into the pregame stream against the Indianapolis Colts. If you are new to the streams or you've never been to any of the streams before, I'm also just waiting for Joshua. When Joshua shows up, I will add him into the stream. However, if you've never been to one of the streams, how it works is we answer any questions that you have before the stream starts or before the game starts, talk about the Ravens and what they should do, what we think the Colts will do, Colts roster questions, Ravens roster questions, all of that type of stuff. We can get into it. And also, it doesn't even just have to be about this game. If you have questions about the Baltimore Ravens, just kind of in general, questions about what you think they're going to be doing, not just for this game, but for the future in terms of a roster and everything like that. But if you guys didn't know, Rashad Bateman, unfortunately, will not be making his debut tonight. But Miles Boykin will be coming back, and hopefully Miles Boykin doesn't come back and just absolutely take over as wide receiver one and just get every single snap. I see Daddy Brown Drude is in the chat, says, hello, gonna get that dub today. You know what? I'm hoping for it. I think all Ravens fans are hoping for it. I think Colts fans are also hoping for it. But Benjamin also says, another week, another correct score prediction. That's the hope. I'll make a score prediction. That's Joshua and I try and do the score prediction as the last thing before the game starts. So don't worry. We will give our score predictions towards the end of the stream. We will give it. Hopefully I nail it like I did nail the Chiefs game. But Jeff Reed asks the important question. Do you believe the Ravens continue the rushing streak? I do. I do believe that the Ravens continue it because I feel like the Indianapolis Colts are not going to play the run as much as they did last time because I feel like the Ravens have established themselves as a deep play offense. And that I feel like makes the Colts have to back up a little bit more. I feel like they're going to be a bit worried about Hollywood, and that's going to allow the Ravens to rush the ball at the beginning of the game if they try and take shots early, and that'll get them to the 100 yards. And then when they finally start running the ball and having it work, the Colts are going to step into that, and the Ravens are going to get some deep balls over the top, and that's how they're going to try and run the offense. Counter what the Colts are doing on defense. That's how you win. I mean, that's how you win every game. But the Ravens, the benefit is they do have direct counters. If they back up, the Ravens can run the ball. And they've proven if you stack the box against them and sell up for the run, they can throw the ball very effectively and very explosively. I see Brandon says 17-32, Ravens are going to win. I don't think that's too bad of a score prediction. Matt says, can you call Greg Roman and tell him to feed Hollywood? You know, I'm really hoping for it. I want to put up 200 points in fantasy this week. So I'm hoping for Hollywood to ball out this week. I think every Ravens fan is hoping for him, but I feel like he's going to be an integral part of the game plan because he's the most explosive weapon that they have on this team because the run game has not been explosive, and because it hasn't been explosive, Lamar's not as explosive in the run, but he's very explosive in the pass. So I feel like they will feed Hollywood a lot, and I feel like it's going to be a lot of fun to watch, and they're really going to try and get the big play going. I see Mark Tip says, I hope we dominate on both sides of the ball in tonight's game. Let's go, Big Truz. Absolutely. I think that's one of the biggest things that the Ravens need to focus on. Yes, we're focusing on the offense, talking about, Bateman's not playing. How will they get Hollywood involved? Will Tyson Williams be playing a ton? How's the offensive line looking? Yeah, all that's nice, but the Ravens need to make sure that they tackle. If they tackle, they will win this game. That is the biggest thing. They struggle with tackling. If they do not tackle, Jonathan Taylor's going to run wild on this team. And so that's the biggest thing that they need to make sure that they do. Tackle the ball and at least hit them. They cannot have the situations that Patrick Queen and Malik Harrison have had where they are just completely missing. If you at least hit them and they break the tackle, somebody else can gang tackle them from there. But unfortunately, the Ravens in the past couple of weeks have been struggling trying to do that. Jeff Reed says, I hope they do more play action on first downs. I agree. I feel like the Ravens need to utilize the play action a little bit more when it comes to those early down situations. I feel like that's one of the biggest things that they need to do is utilize the play action because it feels like there's so many situations where it's like, the Ravens are going to run it. You know they're going to run it, and then they do. If it's 2nd and 10, 2nd and 7, hit the play action. If it's 1st and 10, hit the play action. That's just absolutely what they need to do. And I see the Purple Rain podcast is in here. What's going on, Sutton and Alex? If you guys don't know the Purple Rain podcast, absolutely check them out. Streaming typically, I believe, on Mondays and Thursdays. However, it's a game night tonight, so I don't know if they're streaming tonight or not. But I see Yolanda says tackling must be better tonight. Absolutely. Could not agree more. Biggest thing that they need to do. Benjamin, I don't know why you're doing this to me. I don't know why you're doing this to me. Yeah, sure, it would be cool, but also I'm not trying to see that. I am not trying to see Miles Boykin out there getting the opportunity to get 100 yards and 3 touchdowns. Like, yeah, it would be cool, but I just don't want to see him out there unless it's a run block situation. And we do have Joshua in here. I'm going to adjust this stuff. How you doing, Joshua?
Man, I'm doing pretty good. I'm cooking fried chicken for the family for the night game. But other than that, I'm doing all right. What's going on, Ravens family? Y'all ready for Monday Night Football?
Oh, we are so excited. And I see Chris Reed asking some fantasy questions. Mm-hmm. He needs Lamar Jackson to put up 30 fantasy points. Does he do it? Does he get the win?
I think it's possible. I think it's definitely possible. A lot of people are predicting, Monday Night Football, Jackson 5. It's no better team ever to do it to the team that left Baltimore in the middle of the night.
That's true. And I feel like the biggest thing with that is like, how do you think he would do it, Joshua? Just kind of talk Lamar Jackson game plan in general, not just fantasy wise. Is it going to be a Lamar rushing attack, or is he going to be throwing the ball through the air and trying? Is he going to get the 100 yards rushing, or is he going to get the 300 passing? What do you think is more likely tonight?
I honestly feel like it's going to be like a Kansas City Chiefs game. I feel like he's going to go for 150 yards rushing possibly, and I think he's going to go for the 350. I just feel like it's going to be a big night, especially for Marquise. Yeah, I definitely can see that happen, Matt. Definitely can see that happen. Marquise, he got a stride. I mean, Mark Andrews, I don't know if he's got a touchdown officially yet this year so far. But I can see him maybe getting, maybe 2 touchdowns possibly. Sammy Watkins finally getting a touchdown, and even our dark horses out of Devin Duvernay, adding another touchdown on his stat list. Or even James Prochet. I mean, he got some big catches, got some good yards at the catch, but I definitely want JP3 to get that touchdown.
Oh yeah, I feel like we're waiting for James Prochet to get that big time play.
Absolutely.
And I see this is a great comment right here. I feel like Justin Houston is going to have a Yannick Ngakoue versus the Jags last year type game. Is he getting that jersey? Justin Houston came out and he said he doesn't want the game ball from that 100 sacks. He wants the jersey of the man that got him there. Is he getting Carson Wentz's jersey at the end of this game?
I thought Jacob Eason was playing.
Or is he getting Jacob Eason's jersey? I mean, hey, is he getting whoever the heck they decide to start?
I definitely feel like it's possible.
That jersey.
I definitely feel like it's possible. Enough. If there's enough pressure generated, and Justin Houston is determined to finally get those 100 sacks that he wants to. Like I feel like he does deserve. He will get it tonight.
Yeah, I feel like we've seen the Ravens against players against their former teams have played really well when they go on the Ravens. I think my favorite one was Steve Smith Sr. when he came to Baltimore. Yeah. Goes against the Panthers. I think he had about $120 and 2 touchdowns in that game. Big time game from him. Justin Houston in the revenge. Can he do it? I'm hoping so. I see Benjamin says, honestly, this needs to be a game where Huntley is in the fourth quarter and we've already kicked the crap out of a team kind of game.
Are we ready to see the Hunt? I mean, it's not yet the season yet, but what? Honestly, Tyler Huntley does get in the game and we put up, a good amount of points. I love what he does. I love what he brings out there. He brings the same type of intensity Lamar does. He know how to get the job done. So I definitely would not mind having him out there finishing the game.
Yeah, I feel like the Ravens, I don't know. It just comes down to I feel like this game is going to be bigger than, this was the game that we talked about in the offseason, Joshua. This was the game.
This is supposed to be the do or die game for Greg Giro, right?
Yes, this was the Giro. Will he be here game? And I feel like Giro's going to be here. I don't think this is that factor. However, I feel like people are talking about Lamar Jackson. They're talking about comparing his MVP stats to this year's stats. They're doing pretty solid. He's got a little bit more rushing yards, a little bit less passing yards. He's definitely got a lot less touchdowns, but the record's better than what it was MVP year. I feel like a lot of people are hoping for a Lamar Jackson MVP year. Prime time is the way to do it. that's when you need to perform. Now, obviously, Monday night or the week 1 Monday night game, I don't think he played bad. The Ravens offensive line played terribly, but he didn't get the win.
Right.
However, he did bounce back, goes against the Chiefs, has a massive game. He gets recognized for it. I think one of the negatives of that is that the Chiefs, they also lost to Josh Allen and in primetime. They lost to Justin Herbert. So it's not like, oh, wow, the Chiefs only had one loss. They only lost to Lamar Jackson. They've already got 3 losses to 3 young, very great quarterbacks. So It's going to be difficult to look at that like, oh, wow, he outdueled him. However, if you're able to string together a lot of primetime performances when the world is watching, you're the only game on television. If you can put up a big game, that's what's going to propel you in those types of things. And so I think if Lamar wants to win that MVP, I don't think it needs to be a Jackson 5, but it needs to be a statement.
You know what? I'll back that up 100%. This is maybe one of the most toughest schedules that was generated for the Ravens under Lamar Jackson being the star QB. And honestly, we saw what happened Monday night. We definitely thought Monday night, beginning of the season, thought we was gonna come out to win, but line play wasn't the best. We saw what happened. Next thing you know, like you said, we bounced back. But at the same time, as we're bouncing back, there's supposed to be a Baltimore-Kansas City rivalry. Kansas City's not playing, Super Bowl style. Kansas City, put the fear of God, air raid attack. The teams are finally figuring them out after that last Super Bowl they was in against Tampa Bay. Like you said, Josh Allen beat them. Josh Herbert beat them. The narrative is not as strong because I know, you're big on that when it comes to the MVP. MVP story, the MVP race is all about the narrative. And right now, yes, we are bouncing back. Yeah, we have over 20 people in IR. Yeah, we lost, our 2 best running backs. But right now, he is making it work.
Yeah, and some good news. Kind of bad news, but good news. Deshaun Elliott's out. Bad news. But our Darius Washington is active. This is the first time all season our Darius is active. And so Brandon Stevens is expected to start at the free safety spot. However, we will finally get to see our Darius Washington play. And I feel like that is very exciting because I feel like I saw a question from somebody asking if Averett gets another pick. In the secondary, who do you think, if there's a big play in the secondary, who's it coming from? Is it going to be from Averett? He's made a lot of plays. Is it going to be a Marlon punch out? Is it going to be Brandon Stevens getting that first career pick? Is it going to be our Darius coming in and making a big hit or a big tipped ball or something like that? Who do you think is making that big? Or Chuck Clark? The dude's just been balling all year.
Honestly, I think it might be Brandon Stevens at the right place, right time situation. He's been playing it safe, but at the same time, as he's been playing it safe, he's been smart about, his play. Yeah, he made one mistake last game, but, what rookie doesn't? Especially a rookie that's making the transition over to, playing secondary. I'm gonna keep on saying it. He's already taken the challenge of, making a transition over to secondary. He took the challenge, that challenge, accepted it, got into the NFL, and now he's even progressing even more. So, he keep on stacking his Sundays, his practice days. He's going to eventually become, a big time name in this league. So I definitely feel like, tonight might just be the night he get that interception.
Oh yeah. And I see Benjamin asks, so far this Ravens defensive line has been extremely successful, but who do you think makes the most big time plays on this defensive line tonight?
Y'all know, come on now, the young guns. I'm going with the young guns. Justin Matabuke is leading the dang way. And Odafi's following up right behind him. We talked about, possibly letting Brandon Williams go at the end of the season because honestly, I feel like his best years are behind him. Right now he's just a staple to the Ravens. He's just one of those names that still ring bells, in the Baltimore Ravens facility. Like Haloti Ngata, for instance. I'm glad he's going to be honored tonight in the Ring of Honor. But at the same time, as he got older, his play did depleted as well. But, with Justin Matabuke and Odafe away, you see, it's a sign of relief because you see that potential of the D line. Because that's what we used to thrive on. Sam Adams, Tony Saragusa, Kelly Greggs, those guys like that. So yeah, I definitely feel like those two guys are going to be the ones that show out tonight.
Yeah, and I believe so. I did look. I believe Carson Wentz is starting for that. I think he's back. Somebody in the comment section correct me if I'm wrong on that. I believe he is starting. I'm going to say the best player will be Calais Campbell. I feel like he's been the best all year. However, the question is not who was the best, because Calais doesn't make a lot of big time plays. He just makes good plays. Oh, it's 1st and 10. They run the ball up the middle. Calais stuffs him for 1 yard. Not noticeable. Carson Wentz is a guy that always competes. I watched Graven's video that he put out today, and he was talking with a Colts fan. I can't remember his name, and he talked about how he's never seen Carson Wentz throw the ball away. Never seen it, because he's always trying to make that play. Carson Wentz has to escape a lot. Odafe Oweh, he's the type of guy with the type of speed to be able to chase down a guy like Carson Wentz when he's trying to get out. Carson Wentz tries to pull a Patrick Mahomes, throw it while he's getting hit. Odafe Oweh can force an interception, can force a hit the arm, force a fumble or something like that. I feel like that's the type of play Odafe Oweh can make tonight. May not be he just absolutely burns the offensive tackle and just hits him in the backfield like he did Teddy Bridgewater. I think it'll be more similar to the Patrick Mahomes situation, the Derek Carr situation, where they break contain because the offensive line breaks down. Maybe it's Justin Houston coming off the edge. He breaks out. Odafe Oweh, as Patrick Queen said in the offseason, see ball, get ball. He's going to see that ball and he's going to come right after the quarterback and hit him. So I feel like Odafe Oweh is going to be that guy. And I see Purple Rain Podcast says an exclamation win tonight will put us at number 2 in the AFC behind the Bills and ahead of the Chargers. And the best part about that is Ravens play the Chargers next week.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So not only will it be an exclamation win tonight, but it'll put the Ravens in maybe the biggest game of the year so far, because it'll be 2 of the top, tied for the 2 top seeds in the AFC, playing each other for that seed. Because, you can look at the Rams-Bucks game as the biggest game so far, as, undefeated teams, who's the best, or the Cardinals-Rams game, 2 very good teams. But I feel like it could be, as every week progresses, the weeks get more impactful. And so I feel like this could set up a massive week for the Ravens if they get this win tonight, and give them some confidence going into next week if they are able to get it.
Most definitely, man. We talked about it. If we was to go on a slippery slope or a slump in the beginning of the season, hey, I'd rather go through it now, and we pick it up at the back end. But I will say about our Ravens team, when we do lose, we know how to bounce back, and we've been battle tested this year for the past, these past couple of weeks, man. And I love how these guys have been responding. I think that's been one of the things, far as we can respond, or we can't fight back, or or if we lose the lead, we can't regain it and win a game. Well, hell, they're showing they can do it. They're showing they can be battled. Granted, when we play against Detroit, we did play down to the competition. Let's be real about it. But when it comes to those games that really count, I'll give it to the Ravens. They do go out there. They play their hardest. They play fast. They play strong. They play physical. And when it comes down to it, they're gonna come out with a W, or they're gonna make it close.
Oh yeah. And I see Jeff says that he believes Lamar's getting 300 yards passing tonight. I can see that. I can definitely see that. The Ravens have, Lamar, I want to say, is the only quarterback that's hit every single over in passing yards in sports betting so far this year.
Okay.
So for me, I feel like he definitely could get it. I feel like the Ravens will attack that deep ball. They will attack the explosive play. Maybe not as much like the 50, 60-yard deep ball, but like the 20 to 30-yard crossing routes and things like that have been so deadly for the Ravens, hitting Sammy Watkins, hitting Marquise, hitting Mark Andrews. Those have been the play. Even James Prochet's gotten involved in those. So I feel like those are the plays that we'll see a lot, and those are the plays that have been the most deadly for the Ravens this season.
Now, I want to ask you this: how we're in week 5. I think this is going to always be a question. Like, when you see, because we always talk about those crossing routes, get the yardage and let the guys run. How do you feel now that we're seeing more of the things that we're talking about? How do you feel now? Like, we're getting a passing game. We're getting a balanced offense now. Just about. We're getting there.
I mean, this is what we've been waiting for. This is why we brought in Key and Teeth. T and Keith. Man, I cannot speak today. But that's why we brought him in, to bring in those plays that have been missing. The Ravens have not been utilizing slants. They haven't been utilizing the middle part of the field. And it's not because Lamar can't throw outside the numbers. It's because Greg Roman doesn't throw to outside the numbers. And the Ravens this year, if you look at Lamar's passing chart, he's not throwing over the middle of the field because everybody stacks the middle. And he's just hitting guys on the sideline outside the numbers all day long. And that's very good because all of a sudden they'll start having to play those outsides. That opens up the middle, not just for the pass, but for the run game as well. So, it sucks for Mark Andrews because, the middle of the field was his stomping ground. Right. But now they're covering that only. And it's allowing Sammy, it's allowing Marquise, and it's allowing even Prochet to get involved out there. And I see Matt asks, how much faith do you have in Greg Roman come playoff time?
That's a great question. That's a great question, Matt. I don't like that question, but that's a great question. I'll let you go first, McConnell.
I feel like I do have some confidence. And it's not in Greg Roman. It's confidence that T. Martin and Keith Williams will be able to sway him to utilize his players the best. I feel like that is the issue that we've been waiting for. No longer is it David Culley trying to David Culley probably never said a single word to Greg Roman. He was probably just sitting there drinking some juice on the sideline, insulting the wide receivers. That's probably about what he did in Baltimore. But T. Martin and Keith Williams have come in, and we've seen the impact in practice. We've seen the impact in the games. We've seen the impact on the scheme, because it's not like the Ravens are at full passing strength right now. They don't have Nick Boyle. They don't have Rashad Bateman. This is not the team that they brought in, and it's like, oh wow, we can really up the receiving core. Yeah, we have Watkins, but we're missing Miles Boykin. So now we get him back, but we're seeing with them, with a similar receiving core, the passing game is just so much more open. They are trying so many more things. The only thing that I'm a bit concerned about with it is situationally, there's still times where I feel like they start the game in the wrong spot. Like in the game against Detroit, the play calling I felt like wasn't amazing. Like they started off trying to run the ball. I felt like a little too much. I was like, utilize the pass. I think Lamar started 3 for 3 or 4 for 4. They had some big plays. Utilize the passing game. And then they started use it. And then at the end of the game, they completely stopped using it. And they pulled a Kyle Shanahan, and they were like, all right, nope, we're just going to try and end this game by not using what's been getting us this lead. And Detroit was able to crawl back.
Yeah.
You got to be able to continue and do what's working. And if that's passing the ball, pass that ball continuously. That's the only thing I've been noticing with Greg Roman is he's still having some troubles, in my opinion, with when to call the right type of scheme. However, the schemes that he's been implementing have been so much better than the schemes that he's been using in these last couple seasons.
I'll say this. As far as my trust for him in the playoffs, it's -10. The reason I say this, it's like he doesn't study the opposing defense. It's like he almost goes there. It's like he's either goes up there, Sunday night, Monday, Thursday, whatever day the game's on. He's like, hey guys, we got this team. Okay, let's do this. Oh, that's not working. All right. It's like he just do process.
It's like he's testing, yeah.
Like, watch the team that you're playing, do some real studying, see their weak point, expose it, and keep on doing it until they until they respond. And if they don't respond, keep running it down their throat, keep passing it over their heads. Hey, if the Ravens become a big time passing offense because teams are stacking the box, so what? I don't care. All I care is that we get the W's. But at the same time, it starts with the guys in the war room, in far as preparation. It's almost like a pyramid. You got the owner, you got your GM, you got your coaches, then you got your coaches, trainers, all those guys, equipment guys, and then you got your players. Everybody has to be on one accord, So, when it comes down to the coaches, when it comes down to the position coaches, like shout out to the position coaches this week, because I did see that they actually was having those guys out there really running actual tackle drills. They had to go back to high school with it, because they're tired of seeing this stuff. We're tired of seeing this as fans. I mean, excuse me. The athlete today is not like the athletes we used to watch growing up. They're not the Ray Lewises. They're not the Bart Scotts. They're not the Troy Palomalus. You guys are more. You're not as strong. You're more faster. Your durability is not the best. It's a couple of specimens from my youth, old school football, but y'all are not those. Y'all not those type of guys anymore. Wrap up. Make sure you hit. Make sure you hit those guys, and when you hit them, throw everything you got in it. I mean, hell. Kareem Jackson, I think I'm saying his name correctly, the corner that moved to safety out in Denver.
Yeah.
Only about 180, and he was out there lighting things up.
Yeah, and that's something that I've seen out of I feel like only one guy that I've seen where like on the Ravens that is just like he's small, but he's still trying, and that's Brandon Stevens. Brandon Stevens does not have the tackling experience. He played running back all through. I mean, heck, he played running back 2 years in college, then played 1 year of corner.
Yeah.
Corner not known for tackling, but he's still throwing his body in. Sometimes he doesn't get the tackle, but at least he's hitting him. How many times have we seen Patrick Queen just run and just completely run by the guy or dive at him and completely miss when he could have taken a better angle? It happens so often. At least throw your body weight into him, wrap up, and bring him to the ground. And Jeff, just to answer your question quickly, he's yet to practice. So it could be a little bit until he's able to play. Chris Reed, Le'Veon Bell is not playing tonight. The Ravens running backs, I believe Benjamin also asked about this. Ravens running backs are Latavius, Devontae, and Tyson. They do not have an order set. I would expect it to be mostly Latavius and Tyson. I would expect Tyson to be by far the best running back. He's been the best running back on this team every time he's played. He's been the clear best running back, except for when Nate McCrary was getting that ball. So
honestly, man, because I guess I know you heard it. I know you heard the rumors or the possible trade talks, and the only person that I can assume that teams are asking for is Tyshawn.
Oh, absolutely. There's no way a team's watched Latavius Murray and been like, wow, I wish we could get some of those 3 yards per carry. Like, no, they're looking at Tyson Williams because he's averaging, I want to look up his numbers. I want to say he's averaging like 6 yards a carry. Yeah.
6.1. Yeah.
That's way better. Like, he is actually, like, he's hitting holes with explosiveness and he's actually making big plays. And so I feel like he's definitely a guy that can be brought up in trade discussions and things like that. But I feel like they shouldn't, unless they want to bring up Nate McCrary from the practice squad, because he's a heck of a lot better than Devontae Freeman. And Hadi says, "Why is this team obsessed with him?" Yeah, I really don't. I feel like he's a guy though, where they're not like, "Oh, we got to give him the rock." They're like, "We'll give it to him on one drive for 3 carries." I'm not too mad at that. It's like when if they started giving Devontae some Latavius Murray workload, I would be fuming. But they should give Latavius' carries to Tyson, and then what Le'Veon got last week to Latavius. These names, man, they are tough. And then Devontae to there's really 3 V's in their name. That's why I keep messing them up. It's Le'Veon, Devontae, and Latavius. Okay, I was like, why can I not get these names?
Almost like a single group, R&B single group.
Oh yeah. Matt says, I feel like he can't make adjustments, referencing to Greg Roman. When he meets a team that he played in the regular season, like they adjust and he does the exact same thing. Yeah, I feel like Joshua, I feel like you totally nailed it when you're like, sometimes it seems like he comes out without watching any film. And he's just like, well, he comes out in the Ask Madden. That's what he comes out. He doesn't have his scheme ready. He comes out and Madden says, all right, here's your 3 options. You can come out in a power set. You can come out in pistol, or you can come out in shotgun. They're all going to be like run plays. Maybe one's like a play action, but slants or something like that. And that's what he does. Like the first drive is only Ask Madden on the first drive. And then the next drive is like, all right, now let's try out this random scheme we maybe developed this week. And it'll work. And then it'll be like, all right, we won't use that anymore. We'll go to this other thing. And then eventually in the second half, he like sort of has it situated, but a lot of times it's like he situates on the wrong thing that isn't working. And it's very frustrating. But Chris Reed says, speaking of trades, any trades that you think will happen before the trade deadline?
As far as money and far as players, if we didn't have so many people injured, possibly, but because, we're pretty much using everybody that we have, available, I don't see any trade options I don't see us making any trades unless, EDC and Steve Bisciotti come up with some way to come up with some money on the low and make something happen. But right now, I don't see anything happening.
Yeah. And just kind of Jameson Hensley just tweeted Ravens running back pecking order in pregame warmups, Latavius, Tyson, and then Devontae Freeman. So that's good news. It's kind of sad news. Ben Powers warming up at left guard. No big sexy. Ben Powers is warming up at left guard, unfortunately.
The rotating of the left guard position is I don't agree with it. Like, we're bad enough, we're already depleted at the O line, but to keep on swapping pieces out, it's like we got to get some type of consistency somewhere.
100%. I feel like the Ravens drafted Ben Cleveland, and they were so high on him. John Harbaugh literally came out and was like, "Oh, he's so good. We needed him.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he was the guy that we needed day 2. That was it." And then they're like, "Oh yeah, we'll see if you're ready." Like, it's not like this offensive line is great. So, and it's not like Ben Cleveland played poor. He played really solid when he did get in there. So, I feel like they should be using Ben Cleveland, but oh well, that's besides the point. Benjamin says, "Why isn't McCrary or even Bell in over Freeman?" I feel like they like I don't even know.
We can't get a real answer on that because Latavius and Tyshawn are literally the same running back. Tyshawn is younger and he runs harder. It's like when Latavius runs, he just runs and falls forward. I mean, that's good, but at the same time, Tyshawn makes a more effort of getting a fight for the yardage. I honestly would love to see McCrary and Tyshawn together. Just like I'm gonna say it again, the Kenneth Dixon, Gus Edwards show was a beauty to watch. We're having Lamar Jackson right with him, and I feel like it would have been the same way with Nate McCrary and Tyshawn.
Yeah, I feel like Nate McCrary will get called up by the end of the year. I feel like he actually gives the Ravens something that the other guys don't have. I feel like he gives a little bit more cut. I mean, I understand. I feel like that's what Devontae. I think that's why they have Devontae is he can cut. The issue is he's way too hesitant. Like he's way too hesitant to hit those. Nate McCrary tries to hit the hole quickly, and then he makes his he does his one cut, gets up the field quickly, and is able to make and then fall forward. Devontae doesn't cut early enough. He's trying to be that speed back. He just doesn't have the speed anymore. And he's too slow getting to the outside. There's so many times where he just gets the ball on a stretch run, an outside zone type play. And he's just kind of waiting there for the tackle or the tight end to block that guy. And he's just kind of shifting side to side. And then, boom, 3 guys hit him.
Yeah.
He needs to be more. Like we see Tyson, he comes out there and he sees that. And it's like he goes fast. He understands when to go fast and when to wait. And that's one of the biggest things that running backs need is being able to decipher. This is why
that vision
Trent Richardson was terrible. He never knew when to hit the hole and when to wait.
Yeah, man, yeah. Him and Terrence West.
And Javoris Allen.
Poor Buck.
And Kenneth Dixon.
And listen, ain't nobody was like Bernard Pierce or Lorenzo Talafaro. Rest in peace to that man.
Oh yeah.
Those were some running backs.
I see Jeff Reed says the Ravens need that north-south runner. Yeah, I feel like Tyson can be that guy. And I feel like Nate McCrary can be the east-west. I feel like that's something that the Ravens should look at. But
Nate McCrary's first step is quicker than
absolutely. His first step is very fast. Like he only ran like 4 or 5 in the 40-yard dash, but he's very quick and he fights on every play. He gets wrapped up. He's churning his legs every time. We saw it in the preseason. Gets 3-4 yards after being wrapped up by 2-3 guys, and he's still falling forward because he's just outworking the guys that are trying to tackle him.
Absolutely.
And people may say, oh, but he's playing against backups. Yeah, he sometimes he was playing against backups, but at the same time, those backups were fighting for a job in the NFL. Like they should have wanted it. It's not like this didn't matter. Some like waste of time. This wasn't the end of like if it's the end of a regular season game and you're falling forward, that doesn't matter. Like, oh no, you're winning by 25 points, you're in and you're falling forward. Like that, they're not trying. They're like, come on, man, go down.
Right.
It's like a respect thing. But in preseason, no respect. Go out there, churn those legs, win the game. Then let's see here. Benjamin says, dang, if only we had a running back that ran as well as Lamar. Well, that unless we're getting Barry Sanders or Gale Sayers, then unfortunately it's not happening.
Man, listen.
I would even go to say nobody runs as well as Lamar. Barry's on his level, I would say.
You want to say Jim Brown?
I think, okay, Jim Brown, the issue with Jim Brown is he runs so differently. Jim Brown was just strong.
As
very
hell.
different. Like, I mean, if we're bringing up other guys like Earl Campbell or something like that, I would take an Earl Campbell running through 8 guys. I would take an O.J. Simpson running through 8 guys.
You know what? Someone is the next person I would say that was probably silky smooth is Lamar. Outside of Barry Sanders, people don't talk about him enough. It's Eric Dickerson.
Oh yeah. One of my favorite things about Eric Dickerson was he talked about how he's not a look back kind of guy.
Yeah.
He breaks into open field. He does not look back. He says, if you catch me, you catch me. Like, I'm going to outrun you. And if you catch me, like, good for you, because turning back slows you down. Unfortunately, Lamar turns back. It's all good. Lamar's also trying to protect himself, not trying to get tripped up, then get clobbered by a safety. We see a lot of injuries happen out of that. That's smart, but I always loved that Eric Dickerson came out. He's just like, I'm not a look back type of guy. If you catch me, good for you, but you're not going to catch me. That was one of my favorite things. Benjamin says, not going to lie, Patrick Ricard has more wiggle and power than Devontae Freeman.
He do.
Sadly, he definitely has more power, but the wiggle, the thing is, there's a guy on, I don't know if it's TikTok or YouTube, where he does like dribble moves and stuff like that. And all he dribbles the ball real fast, but he just goes between. It's like, that's not doing anything. Devontae Freeman's wiggle doesn't do anything. He stays in the same place. Patrick Ricard wiggle, very terrible wiggle, it has a purpose. It's going somewhere. It's leading somewhere else. Yeah. Devontae's just kind of stutter stepping and doing nothing with it. And that's not impactful.
Right.
There's got to be purpose.
Well,
Void says, where's Gurley? We should try and get him.
I don't think so. Not right now. Honestly. I mean, there's a reason he got let go at Atlanta. He's not the Ty Gurley before the injuries, man. You know, shout out. I mean, even though he's a Maryland native, you know, I would love to, you know, bring the Maryland natives guys home. You know, we did that with Cyrus Jones. We see how that turned out. But I think it would be the same effect. He would just be, you know, a hometown legend, made it to the NFL, and we're not going to get the best of him. The best of his years are past him, in my opinion.
Yeah. Mark, I 100% agree with this. I'd rather see Devin Duvernay be the running back on counter bash than Freeman. He keeps getting caught in the backfield. Yes, Devin Duvernay played some running back at University of Texas. He did. He lined up in the backfield. He can do it. I feel like that's something that the Ravens, we talked about in the offseason, not an every down type of thing, but get him the ball. Let him run up the middle. He's not a small guy. He's a big, built player that can run up the middle, and the Ravens can use that. And also, if you have Devin Duvernay lined up in the pistol, if you pass the ball, you have a legitimate wide receiver coming out of the backfield. Because if you look at the Chiefs line up with Tyreek Hill in the backfield all the time in pistol. They did it last night. Tyreek Hill behind Mahomes. I believe it was Damian Williams or one of the Williams lined up to the right. Mahomes hands it off to Williams, but Tyreek Hill's back there. He's the threat. Get Duvernay in the backfield. Get him out there. Use him as a pass threat. Use him as just a what the heck is going on, confuse the defense type of guy. And he's also got great burst. And if he hits that next level, he can be gone. I would love that.
I forgot what team it was, and we actually ran the Veer, and it was Dev was coming on the motion. They ran the Veer, they faked it to Dev. Forgot what team it was, but they jumped on it. I want to say it was possibly Kansas City.
I think it was Kansas City. Yeah, I do remember that play.
But the
I'm
way
trying to remember what team it was.
But the way they jumped on him was like, dang, they do respect Dev. So this idea of actually having him in the backfield, I definitely feel like if G-Row and the rest of the team can come up with some continuous creativity, once we get Rashad Bateman and Miles and anybody else that we may bring up, I think we should actually try to implement that because I wouldn't mind, letting go Latavius. I wouldn't mind letting go Devontae Freeman, letting it be Nate McCurry, letting it be Tyshawn, letting it be Le'Veon, and certain plays, Dev is in the backfield.
Oh yeah, and Void asks, so do we draft a running back next year, mid to late round? I'm gonna say no. I think that the Ravens could do it. This was why I felt like the Ravens shouldn't have re-signed Gus Edwards, because I felt like the Ravens can draft a running back to like every 4 years. They don't need to keep their guys and re-sign him and pay the running backs and all that stuff. I feel like the Ravens can get an undrafted guy, bring in an undrafted running back next year. Keep Tyson Williams in-house, keep Nate McCrary in-house, let them fight it out. The Ravens probably will have 4 running backs. Tyson can play special teams next year. He played special teams in preseason. Like, he's not going to outbeat Gus or he's not going to outbeat JK, but young running backs, I think, are the move for the Ravens, and they don't need to draft somebody. There will be
we will have
an undrafted running back that will be good.
Guys back next year, so definitely no need to draft a running back. I mean, honestly, I feel like our biggest concerns going to the offseason is definitely offensive line and defensive line. We got to continue to get young on those fronts. Maybe add another outside linebacker, or even another, a pass rusher.
Yeah, I feel like the Ravens may look at corner. I think the Ravens will definitely look at corner because they have no depth after Marcus Peters and Anthony Averett, depending on who the Ravens end up keeping. But Jimmy Smith's old, Tavon Young makes a lot of money. Corner, offensive line, definitely. And then like you said, defensive line. Look at that middle spot. Running back's not a major issue though. And I see, let's see here. Jun On says, the Colts are going to bring the zero blitz. Lamar better have Prochet on speed dial for the quick read. Yeah, Colts like to blitz. Colts have good linebackers to blitz. How do the Ravens deal with that?
You got to hit the quick slants. You got to hit those outs immediately. And a good thing about Lamar, he's always had it, but that ball is coming out faster.
Yeah.
So that's something I'm definitely not worried about.
Yeah, I feel like, the Ravens have been implementing more slants in their cover. The benefit is you can typically tell when someone's bringing a zero blitz. You can tell situationally. It's got to be all about that chemistry. And it's got to be with somebody that you trust to hold on to that ball. And Lamar's had success against zero blitz, definitely thrown to Mark Andrews. He's been the most notorious guy that he's done that to. Like, for example, the touchdown pass he threw against the Cleveland Browns in 2019.
Yep.
I think it was 2019. Yeah, it was 2019. Look at that. Dodge the safety or the corner coming on that blitz, step up, throw it to Mark, have Mark go up and get it. I feel like that's just the key. Make sure that the guy holds on to that ball. And that's probably the biggest thing on offense this week. The Ravens are getting guys open against every team. It's just whether or not they can hold on to it.
No, most definitely. It's a good thing to see. It's interesting because we put up numbers last year, but that defense was carrying us. But now it's almost like topsy-turvy, just a little bit.
Oh yeah. All right, I feel like it's time. Let's give our pregame predictions before we end the stream. Final score prediction, bold predict. We used to do. If you guys don't know, we used to do this before every game. We used to always give a bold prediction, and I one of us, I can't remember who did it. Kansas City, last year. I can't remember who said it. We said Devin Duvernay return touchdown, and he got it on Monday Night Football. I can't remember who said it, but we got that.
I know he said it. Yeah.
In the podcast recording, someone said it. So let's try and do a bold prediction, an overall prediction, and a score prediction to wrap up the stream. And you guys comment as well, score predictions, bold predictions, and everything like that. Why don't you start off with just kind of a how the game goes, overall prediction into a score prediction. We'll finish off with our bolds.
I definitely feel like this is going to be a big passing game for Lamar. You know, between that, I see him going between 300 to maybe 400 max. I do feel like you may get a touchdown just about out of everybody. When I say everybody, I'm saying Sammy, I'm saying Marquise, I'm saying Mark, and even Devin and James and JP too. And so, you know, the way they say, oh, you know, Pat Mahomes, you know, he gets the ball all the way around and everybody gets touchdowns. I feel like it may just be one of those nights on the offensive side of the ball. I definitely feel like defense is going to come up and show up. You know, I'm going to keep, and I feel like who's going to have a spectacular night is Tyus Bowser. Just for the simple fact that he did get the money. Everybody feel like, you know, we didn't deserve to play him. Didn't deserve to pay him. Y'all had to understand, he's a guy that you keep around in the facility. He's a guy that's, you know, he knows how to get out there and get a job done. He's not no big spectacular guy, but when he shows up and comes out to play, he comes out to play. I definitely feel like he's going to get I definitely feel like he might get an interception and take it to the house tonight, and also get 1.5 sacks.
All right, and I will say, Void, Quentin Nelson is on IR, I believe. He went on IR in week 3, so I don't think he could have come back. So, Matabike 2 sacks, though. I do like that.
I do like that as well.
For me, my overall game thing, I feel like it's going to be a Ravens passing game again. However, Ravens do get the 100-yard rushing. I feel like they're going to get 120, 125 yards, something like that. But I feel like it's not going to be a ton of yards. It's going to be maybe about 300 yards passing. Not going to be a ton of yards. Colts do have a stingy defense, but I feel like the Ravens are going to come out there. They're going to get a couple of big plays. My bold prediction, 2 touchdowns for Hollywood Brown. $150.
Okay.
And then and I feel like that's I don't know. Is that bold enough? I feel like that's a bold enough prediction.
How many receptions though?
7.
Okay.
He's gonna be I feel like one of them here, make it extra bold. One of them's over 50 yards.
Okay.
Big time. There's gonna be a big play touchdown and maybe one 10-yard touchdown pass to Hollywood.
Okay. I'll give you that.
Oh yeah.
Who you got for defense though?
On defense, I'm calling it the Darius Washington
pick 6 or just a pick
touchdown. Darius touchdown in the debut game. Mr. 5'8" is gonna come out, and it may be a fumble recovery. It may be a jump slant. It may be a jump screen pass. Maybe a tipped ball. Darius Washington takes one to the house in a big time play.
Okay, I like that
for the defensive side of the ball.
I like that. That definitely set the tone, especially in Baltimore. You know, I know everything started around 3:15 today. So yeah, I know downtown is lit. I love the energy downtown. Calais is going for 3. And a pick. Oh, don't come on now. Don't give Adolphe Terrell Sugg numbers now. That's Terrell Sugg stats.
Look at that. Look at that. Going for Marino.
I like that.
So score prediction, and then we'll end the stream.
I'm going 44-17.
44-17. Okay. I'm gonna go 38-24. Baltimore.
I'll give you that. Carson, they're gonna play. They got to shut down.
So this would be, who's the running back that puts the Ravens over 100 yards rushing? I'm assuming that's the question. Who's doing it?
The man that's at number 2. I feel like he's going. You know what? I feel like just because he was out last week, he's going to show that he needs to stay in the rotation. He's going to break one for like 30 or 40. Just to, hey.
I bet Tyson Williams would have like 55 yards rushing and a touchdown, and the odds were like plus 900. And I was like, oh, yeah, I'm taking those odds.
Yeah, most definitely.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to say, I think it's Lamar. The record started in Lamar Jackson's first career start, and Lamar's going to be the one that puts him over the edge.
Definitely respect that.
Hopefully it's not on the last play of the game with the Ravens winning.
Man, that was crazy. You thought you had a friend.
Oh, yeah. All right, everyone. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Make sure to come back after this game. We will be streaming. We will be talking about it. We will be having a good time, hopefully celebrating the Ravens' record-breaking performance in a victory. Maybe a Jackson 7, Jackson 8, a Jackson 20. I don't know. Jackson 30.
Either way, we with all the smoke tonight.
The smoke. All right, guys. See you all again after the game.